Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Stephen Choi. This is Trading with Livevol. This is where I trade my Reg T account, and I use LVX to trade, so you guys can see how I trade. So I'm broadcasting a little earlier today because I can't do the 10 o'clock, so I'm just going to do it today. Nothing that much has changed. The market is down. So I'm having a down P&L day. Let me actually talk about the TRW and TWX. You can see that I did some trading here. So TRW, there's pretty much nothing new. I have my position, and now I'm just waiting on it, right? So I read more articles over the weekend, most of them written in German, and basically, you know, it's basically they're still in talks, right? So I see some order flow. Yeah, so it looks like some people are buying some puts. So these kind of put buying obviously doesn't make me feel that great, right? Because this person is maybe implying that the deal's not going to get done, or maybe they're getting worried and they're hedging some position. But anyway, in the long run, you know, basically there hasn't been any activities, right? So the volume's really low. The options volume is pretty low, and basically most of the people, I think, just waiting whether they're going to announce it or not. And I'm making a bet that they're going to announce. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. They also have earnings tomorrow before market opens. Not sure how that plays into it. But unless something disaster happens, I think nothing really changes. Now in TWX, last time I talked to you guys about TWX, basically I had this time spread on, and then I try to roll it from 87 to 90, and then today I rolled it from August 85 to 90. So the reason I did this, so you see how I'm short 55 of these, and I'm long the October 85s and 87s, and I'm long 10 of these August 85 puts. Basically, the reason I'm doing this is because I think the new bid is coming, and it might be coupled with, let's say, like a couple of board seats, right? Because that's what the news was, that Murdoch was open to giving Time Warner a couple of board seats in the new combined company. So I think he's going to bid higher. The reason I think that is, I guess for me, from my experience from trading Dow Jones with him, he's not going to do all that stuff and then just walk away, right? Divest in Europe, get all that money, and then decide not even to make a higher bid. So I think he's going to make a higher bid. Now, when he does make the higher bid, basically, I'm going to have to close everything down. So I'm going to have to close everything down and start buying some puts because it won't be over, right? So usually the best time to buy puts after he announces the takeover is literally the first like 10 minutes, and then the first hour is best to buy these puts, because people will be just selling them, and the volatility will kind of come out of them. But then as people realize that the deal is not done, those puts will start getting bid up again. Just kind of like same thing with Shire. They'll just get bid up, and it's important that you know, that you actually own them. You know, I wish I owned more of the Shire puts. It would have made a bigger difference. So this time around, when Murdoch does give the higher bid, or Fox, basically I'm going to close out of all my longs and buy puts, right? So this is my risk chart now as it stands. In the next 8 weeks, this is kind of how it would look. So if, you know, basically, let's say I'm lucky enough for the stock to trade 90 because he bids 93 bucks, or maybe 89, I should make between $8,000 and $12,000, right around there. And then as soon as I make it, I'm basically gonna get rid of it, right, and buy some puts. Not that I don't think the deal's gonna get done, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy. So they're gonna make a higher bid, then they're gonna get rejected, and then so forth, right? So you see how here right now I'm actually long 30 more calls. So let's say I wanted to do it exactly 30 more. This is how it would look, right? So I might sell a little bit more of these. Or I was thinking maybe selling some October, right? So let's say I don't sell these, but I sell maybe some of these, right? And see how it goes. But most of them don't really change too much, so I'm inclined to sell the front month because I know they're gonna pretty much go out worthless in a few weeks unless the higher bid is there. And then I'm thinking of maybe trying to buy 5 more of these puts to protect my downside, right? Because my downside is right now about, I should do it without this thing first. So my downside is about 15,000 right now, and if I buy like 5 more, right, I'll get it down to like 10. So I think that's what I might work on, is try to buy more of these puts and try to maybe finance it by selling some of these calls, right? So if I sold like maybe 25 of these, it might go into financing some of the 85 puts. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I think the new bid is coming. So this whole thing, like me risking 15 to make maybe 10, and it's kind of like the same thing. I think there is, and I didn't really think about this too hard because I thought it was, I was basically gonna do 25% chance that either Fox walks away or nothing happens, and then 75% chance new bid comes in at higher price. So that's basically how I did it, right? So here I lose, let's just keep it simple, right? Let's say I lose 15 to 18K. And here, let's say I make between 8 and 13K, right? So if I played this basically 4 times, and let's use 10 and 16 as an example, I'll make 30, lose 16, and then I'll make 14 divided by 4 is expected return is about 3,500 bucks off my investment, right? So kind of that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm making this bet. I'm one thing that people should understand is one of the big reasons why Time Warner probably doesn't like Murdoch bidding on them is the fact that that they have different kind of mindsets, right? Murdoch is a conservative, and he's from he's like self-made billionaire, and then Time Warner is more like liberal, and they're from like the top Ivy League school. So it's a different kind of thinking, but you know, Murdoch done that before. I almost feel like I'm seeing a replay because that's what people are saying about, you know, selling, you know, like the Wall Street Journal and stuff like to Murdoch. How could you do that? It's going to turn totally into conservative. But to me, like, what does that matter about in terms of like the financial benefit of combining the company, right? So I think in the end, money always seems to have a heavier hand than people's beliefs. So in this instance, I think Murdoch does have a pretty good chance of taking over. And but really, what I'm doing is I'm making a bet for the next play. So the next play for me is that he bids higher, 93 bucks roughly, or between 90 and 95. The stock gets a pop of like, you know, $5. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out of all my longs, or get out of most of them, and buy some puts. Because I think there's going to be another hiccup, right? So that's kind of my thinking. It's important to buy the puts early, and you have to find out the prices because it's going to be super wide. So you're going to have to put in prices that you think is good. You can't just put in like midpoint and think that's the right price, right? So you have to think about what the value of these options are and try to buy them, right? So like, for example, like these October puts, you see how the 85 puts are like 460, and they have 50 delta. If this stock goes up by $5, supposedly these things should go down by about 250, right? So they'll be worth about $2. Not sure if you're going to be able to buy it for 2, but you know that's kind of what you would be looking for. So if you can get it for less than 2 or something, that might be pretty good. But anyway, that's kind of those two. I talked to you guys about Family Dollar before, how I was going to invest, and basically there's that doubt because the Dollar General CEO was retiring, but you know, who knew that they were talking with Dollar Tree this whole time since March. So, you know, one that slipped, and you know, Trulia, I think that was pretty obvious they were doing it, but I just felt hesitant to buy it like after these two moves, right? Who knew it was going to go here? I thought maybe it'll go down here a little bit more. But in the end, there was like 2 rumors, and basically they all kind of came through, which is kind of what happened like around 2007 for me, where like every rumor of a buyout almost became reality. So I almost feel like we're at the same kind of situation, which is why I kind of went from just trading the large block order flow to kind of these kind of trades, because I feel like there's more money in it. Let's see. So, and then I have this other one in Facebook. I didn't write anything about it. I just have an 8 lot here in December. I bought it for $8.15, and I'm thinking that Facebook will go up to $80 in a month or so, or within a month, and I can get to cash out for about a 50% profit or whatever. Okay, so some earnings are coming up. HLF, as you guys know, this is kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's a coin flip. It's not really, you know, something you can invest in because you don't really know what's going on. But anyway, it's at the 34th percentile, implying a 5.7% move on the stock, moved an average of 1.8%. You know, I'm not sure if earnings is the biggest news stock driver anyway. BP, 2-to-1 puts to call ratio, 51 percentile. Looks like there's some put buying, implying a 1.5% move. The stock's moved an average of 2.8%. So if you're just looking at that, maybe, you know, buying some options if you think it's going to move one way or another, it's not a bad move. MRK, more calls to puts, 29 percentile, implying a 1.8% move, and moved an average of 1.7%. EPS, calls and puts are pretty much even, 35 percentile, implying a 1.6% move, moved an average of 0.6%. So basically, it's historically overvalued these option prices. The last one is WYNN Resorts, 24 percentile. Looks like implying a 3% move, moved on average of 4.5%. Looks like it's up decent today, so we'll see what happens. I think Las Vegas Sands had earnings. They're the first one to have, and they didn't have that good of an earnings. You know, I'm in Las Vegas Sands, so we'll see how it goes. I bought it because it's like 52-week low. And because I missed, so there's you know how I talked to you guys about trade a minute. Basically, a lot of times I just miss that trade, and by the time I look at it, like this option prices are like completely away from the prices. So then I try to pick something that's similar, right? But it is what it is. So that's about it. Hope you guys have a good Monday, and I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. Take care.